Hi guys, this is Manni.
Hi Jay.
We are at the Slough project. Yes, we've not been doing many videos, so you haven't really been able to follow the journey and the story. But today we're here to give you the final end product. So let's go and have a look. Let me just turn this around, make sure it works. Right. So if you can see here, guys, this is a stunningly beautiful, fully brand new tarmac driveway. A house completely revamped, repainted, and yeah, let's go and have a look what's going on. So you can see this stunningly beautiful driveway. Obviously we paid a lot of money for this, but I think it was worth every penny because I guess it just finished it up.
Absolutely, and not only does it cover the front drive, it goes all the way down this shared drive, which you can see is quite long, and also the full length of our garden.
And you can see, I wanted to show you the outside first before we go in a minute. But here you can see this beautiful patio that we've created, this artificial lawn, which means less maintenance to worry about. Absolutely. None of this mowing the lawn and stuff, which is usually very expensive. So guys, we're just here. We thought we'll just do a quick catch up with you guys. So I think the project's gone really well in the end. I think we've just refinanced. We're waiting to get the funds so we can pay back the bridging. One massive lesson, and I think Jay alluded to that earlier, we didn't need to go for a bridging loan on this one, I think.
No, it was really good learning, but with every project we've done, we make errors, mistakes, all learning curves, as long as we take them through to the next project. And we've learned hugely massively on this project. We know what went wrong, and we will make sure we don't do that again. But
I mean, the thing is, as I said, we could have easily just done a buy-to-let, refurbished kind of loan, which would have been what, 5%, 6%, 5.5% a year. Instead, we ended up paying massive bridging fees, over 12%, plus the arrangement fee was horrendous. And because we didn't get the sui generis for the 9/10 bed, which means we had to rebridge. So that was huge, and I think often we just default mode go into a bridge, which which is right for a lot of projects, but not right for every project. And I think you've got to take a moment to stop and think, what are the options? What am I trying to do here? Is the bridge the right product? If it is, fair enough. Will you be able to exit the bridge? Because rebridging becomes horrendously expensive. And I think we've spent, over 200 grand almost?
Yeah, I think so.
By the time we pay the bridge back, because it's a big loan. We bought this house for 625,000, and obviously we've spent a lot of money, which you will see how and where we've spent the money. So I think that's a huge lesson curve. Second of all is moving the goalpost. Now, we got very nervous because of the sui generis aspect, and Slough are kind of refusing all sui generis applications over 6 rooms. We kind of knew that, but we were kind of we're quietly confident, I'd say. Not like blasé confident, but fairly confident that we'll get it because of the house, of the type of house it is. It's a detached house. It has its own driveway. It's got its own parking in the front. There's parking options at the back of the house as well. So we were fairly confident that we're going to get it. But the two reasons they refused the sui generis for us was A, loss of family home, which was not the case because we already had the HMO license and the C4 certificate of lawful use in place, which goes to show that it's C4. And secondly, overcrowding. But when you go inside, and you'll see in a minute, all our bedrooms are en suite. Every single floor has like the downstairs obviously at the moment is a communal co-living space, but upstairs we've got a communal room on the first and another separate communal room on the second floor as well. So overcrowding is definitely not the question here at all. I think those two. Anything else you can think of, Jay?
Just to touch on what you said about the financing, because what we do is we default to what we know, and you get in the thick of the project. So what we look at now, when we first bought the property to actually getting our HMO license for the first time, we did a brief refurb, cost us about 30k, up and running within 5 months, had the HMO license. We should have moved off the bridge, which we purchased, and then moved to a buy-to-let.
Yeah.
And we were on that for about 8-9 months. But again, we're in the thick of it. We're just we were focused on the build. That was our next project, the sui generis. So, that was a learning curve, but that's fine. That's what we take forward going forward to the next project. And we have what's really, I think, is successful in this. We've exited out brilliantly. We've got the valuation we wanted. We'll be able to pay back our investors. Yeah. So it's worked out well for us.
It happened well in the end, but I think the pain that we've had to go through, especially the money, our profit is been given away in the bridging finance. Yeah. So we're giving away a lot of our profit there. Hopefully we'll recover it in the next 6 to 12 months once we get the sui generis, but it's just that waiting game, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've got a property that we are very, very proud of. Every single value that came in, we had 3 different valuations. Every single value that came in was like amazing. They've never seen a HMO like this. There's so much space, there's so much communal area. Honestly, we had some amazing feedback, and like I said, in the end we've got the numbers, which we'll do another separate video on the numbers. But right now, there was another thing that I want to talk about is the exit. Now, we got nervous when we got rejected on the sui generis, and then we decided to make it into a children's care home, which again, I think we were a bit naive because never have done a children's care home before. Again, I think we went to the wrong lenders possibly, and even the wrong brokers in that instance, because everyone came back with 65% loan to value, which for us wouldn't work because we had to give the investor the money back. 65% loan to wouldn't cut it, and the interest rate was over 7%. Although we were getting a great monthly income from the children's care home operator, and everything was hunky-dory, and we built it to their specification. Unfortunately, the exit wasn't working for us in terms of paying back our investors, so we have to go down the sui generis route again, and we're now just running it as a 6-bed co-living HMO, I'd say, not a regular HMO.
Not a regular, it's co-living. But to go through, like you said, we're in the rabbit hole. We were doing the work, building, looking at getting the build spec to what was
care home.
supported living, but the exit wasn't there. So we were doing that as we were building, because we changed from co-living, from the sui generis to the supported living. So again, in the thick of it, the exit loan wasn't there, and that's what we found out as we were going along.
And we'd never done a care home, I think. And I think we were under the impression it's going to be a regular commercial yield valuation that you do on a HMO. So a rent multiplier, looking at the yield in the area. So we thought assume Slough was 8%. So we thought, we can get, we were getting $8,000 a month. So that's 96 grand.
Fantastic.
And we thought that would be 1.2 million, and we can get 75% loan to value, which means we can pay back our investors. But that wasn't the case. So not only were they doing it purely on a bricks and mortar valuation, which we were obviously nervous about, in the end we got a 1.2 million bricks and mortar valuation, currently as a 6-bed HMO, which was a blended on rent as well as the bricks and mortar. So great, guys. And I think we'll do a follow-up video on the tour, because I think it will probably end up being a very long video. So this is one just showing you the externals a bit, giving you an idea, and we'll do a follow-up video showing you the internal specification and how I think it's looking stunning, actually.
Absolutely.
I think I'm happy to move in here.
Absolutely, it's looking stunning. And I think that one of the things as well that's worked well is how me and Manni work, and how Manni is. Manni's sort of broad picture vision, out there doing a lot more big stuff, where I'm more or less the pincher. So I was on it when it came to like the budget.
I just leave her to it. It was frustrating at times, but I think we made it work in the end. I think it worked well. But to be fair, she let me get on with what I needed to do, which was pretty much not much.
But
and she got on with most of it.
But I think what helped is the finish. I wouldn't have gone to this finish because I was looking at the budget, but it needed the finish. It needed the driveway. It needed the landscape. You see, we've got 3 distinct areas on the landscape: a wraparound patio, artificial grass, and a gravel area, plus a full-length tarmac. It looks beautiful, and it needed that, and I probably wouldn't have done that without your vision for that end product. So that's where it worked well. If you work on a JV and you've got those different ideas and different viewpoints, it does work really well.
I think in the end, the JV, yes, you're going to have lots of differences, but I think in the end what really works is you guys value each other's inputs. Maybe take a long breath and reconsider what they've said, because sometimes what they say is not exactly what you think is right, but maybe just take a moment to think and reflect, and then come back and say, well, actually, this is how I think it should be, and maybe come to maybe a halfway house or something.
Which I think we've done a lot, because you've had different views, and I've had different views, but then we but I know that where Manni's come from, she's probably, she is a lot more experienced on things, so I've had to take a step back and think, that makes total sense, even if I don't agree with it, because I know the end product is what is needed.
And same for me. I mean, Jay put in a lot of hard work, and I think one of the other things, that key learnings for us was working with the contractor was great. The contractor was absolutely amazing. But I think one thing I would not do again is getting all the materials. And that was a huge stress on you, Jay, because we should have agreed upfront with the contractor in terms of a labor and a material price, whereas it was more of a labor price. And we were running around, or rather Jay was running around like a headless chicken, sourcing all the products, to the nails, to the screws and the doors and the handles and all of that, which put a lot of strain on Jay, I think, as well. So I think definitely that's another learning lesson. Normally I do a full package, like on a fixed contract with JV with a sort of prime contractor. But unfortunately, this one, although it worked really well, the contractor, I think, has done a fabulous job. We're very happy with the end result. I think it's just the journey, the actual way how we did it, I would work differently.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think, guys, hope that's given you a really good idea of what went really well. I think the key thing to remember is the end result is what we wanted. We still have a little bit of way to go. We still got the sui generis to look forward to, but that appeal is under the process, and we're hoping we can, fingers crossed for a positive result for a 9-bed HMO. But look at the follow-up video we're going to send to you, which gives you a complete video of the internals, the spec and everything. But hope you guys found this useful, you enjoyed it, and hopefully on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. See you later.
Cheers.